repudiating our forecasts and relevant informational details for near-present and future calculations. Please absorb this informative information, valued fellows. Spartan is no longer under protectorate subjugation. This former Order headquarters and habitation for our archive scienticians has been liberated by a most capable and violent anomalous outlier. If you think this third-party liberated Spartan for our benefit, allow me to disabuse your optimism. They worked alone, their motives inscrutable. Hopefully reason will prevail. The only certainty is no outcome can be predicted with absolute certainty until we solve the universal equation.
One thing that you have to know, irrationality is good for the world.
Standing by with life support.
How can that be? Infinite, a measure of mystery.
You are dying.
How can that be? How can that be? Irrationality. One thing that you must profess, irrationality is a part of our progress. How can that be? How can that be? Using pi, a number without end, evokes a result correct in the dividend. Accept it, and you can plainly see a positive externality. A positive externality. A positive externality. One thing you can plainly see. Accept it. In this infinity, can it be a positive externality? One thing, the irrational accepted in the calculation, can it be, and result in explanation? How can that be? How can that be?
Central Control is open to no visitors. Turn around. Even standing this close to Central Control is a major infraction. You need to leave. Now. The only place I will direct you to is a mass grave. Leave.
Which song follows? interested in receiving our weekly selection of mathematical clues?
Promoting. Maintaining your battlefield stamina.
Can you give me an example that is true? Only be
An alarming amount. Maintaining your fortified.
what's a number that has no
Changing magazine for efficiency and in short order.
Promoting team.
you see as a lowercase e to calculate with interest compounding. Irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is mishmashinal. These numbers are so monumental. They're also known as transcendental. Irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is mishmashinal. Irrational, 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 irrational. Remainder is mishmashinal. These numbers are irrational.
And now, constructually compelling yet categorically veracious statements regarding products researched and designed to increase energy, efficiency, creativity, always remember, every moment, every minute calculation brings us closer to solving the universal equation.
It's not enough to say without defense. We won't accept the hunch or feeling
die. Dagmar didn't betray us to the Sentinels. She is a Sentinel with a fucking office here in Central Control. It's enough to make one take leave of their sanity. Warning. Agent Lightinger's sanity profile is well below the acceptable threshold. Further decline may necessitate intervention.
I'm just going to pretend I didn't hear that. Fortunately, there's an easy solution to Dagmar's betrayal. One which involves removing her head from her body. Or maybe we should start with the disemboweling? So many choices.
Well, well, as a Helia Lightinger, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised you've made it this far. In addition to your wonderful thirst for wanton violence, you were always bright, though still somehow too thoroughly deluded to apprehend the truth. But then again, you never really wanted to, did you? Yes, well, can it truly even be considered betrayal if it was always lies? And Aza's willful ignorance made her the perfect candidate when I started the Dawn at the Consul's behest.
What are you talking about? There were cultists before me.
No, there were not. The fiction of a cult was born out of the need to convince the Sovereign to return to the true spirit of the Protectorate. The Consul feared he was too weak.
Dagmar, all this can't be right. How can you spout such lies? Our cause is righteous. It has to be.
And there it is. I almost felt sorry for you, Azahelia. You were so pathetic. So willing to believe specious arguments backed with only the flimsiest of proofs. Ah, well, such is life. But your usefulness is not yet at an end. Your death will put me back in the Consul's good graces. Goodbye, Aza.
No, that's too quick. What about... No, not painful enough. Yes, that's it. I just need to find a piece of heat-conducting metal and something to peel the skin effectively. What, you suddenly take issue with my methods? I can think of no reason to curtail the pleasure of my revenge. Dagmar must die. Violently. Her betrayal warrants no other response.
We will spend years analyzing this phenomenon.
Sentinels, the traitor Azahelia Lightinger is in the compound. She is
Both the large and localized rifts have transitioned into an existential threat to the entire colony. Why, our Vicar Laureate was nearly consumed by the rift's runaway expansion while on an important research excursion. Barely escaped being reduced to his constituent nucleons. Our seers predict with a 37.6% certainty that the localized rifts across Arcadia will also intensify. If you observe something, write something. Citing sources and submitting for peer review, of course. Thus, we will save humanity and preserve the rifts for laboratory study.
I haven't been spotted.
You gather your data through observation.
Danger. Stranger ahead.
You formed a hypothesis, begun experimentation, and does the new data match your equation? Does the effect follow causation? Does it follow the causation? Does it follow the causation?
What's your purpose here?
Huh?
You must be precise. It's your vocation. When your data you'll
As a Helia Leidinger is full of power. All guards loyal to the Protectorate converge on my position at once.
it is numeric extinction.
Forever.
Potential combat. Sharp enough. Hostile nearby.
Great was their trespass against the cover
Both eyes open.
I'll try my next at hiding the hostiles about.
Wireless. Transpiring events, so profound. And insights to the future. Also, music. Your mind enlightened and your day brightened? It's time for another installment of Ask a Vicar with Vicar Max Heisler.
Dagmar. The cur. How could she betray me? Her, of all people. The one who recruited me into the Dawn and saved my life. And out of all the cultists, she elevated me to the highest rank in the Dawn. Was her right hand.
The matriarch, but let's look at all she has done. Over the course of her decades-long appointment as presiding bishop, Ruth Bassar has added...
She was my supervisor. I was just a lowly scientist. She alone could see my heart through the shell the Protectorate encased me in. And when she saw my pain, she looked into my background. It was then that she recruited me.
has approached an error dispersion exceeding 5 sigma, a level of calculation superior to all bishops...
My psychological profile. I saw it once. Recommended sending me to mental refreshment when I was young. Repeatedly. Something about killing sprats. But my parents were able to keep that from happening. The paranoia the Protectorate creates in its subjects crowds everything else out. Even familial love. They were terrified that my behavior would lead people to start looking at them askance. You remember I told you they were vigilant, right? They could have helped me in numerous ways, ways lesser subjects' parents couldn't. But they did nothing. Just locked me away until I learned to hide my feelings. My existence was always bleak, joyless, without purpose. Just like every other subject's. Dagmar was the first friend I'd had since I was a young child. She gave me a life, a family. Or so I thought. I don't believe I have any trust left for anyone, including you.
937-510-09749. How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I? How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I?
Hey now. Embrace his elements! Mind where you
Four, four, 5, 9, 2, 3, 0, 7, 8. 1, 6, 4, 0, 6, 2, 8, 6, 2, 0, 8. 9, 8, 6, 2, 8, 0, 3, 4, 8, 2, 5, 3, 4, 2. How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I? How many digits in pi? How many numbers am I? How many numbers am I?
This melodious little ditty was dedicated to novice Gertrude Powell. Your nominate admirer is taking great interest in your figure work and projections.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
Generating primes, techniques, and uses. Good day and welcome again to Advanced Abstract Algebraics, Section 4, Session 43. Please continue to enjoy the background music, which I have selected today based on its arithmetic-based harmonic progressions. My name is Edmund Vandersma, and I am the Senior Tenured Laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numismatics.
Dagmar would never let herself be cornered. She's sure to have an escape
Lecture will
route.
focus on the
We should find it.
prime numbers, techniques, and uses thereof. I know. Prime numbers? Why so simplistic? Well, consider this a basic refresher course in remedial numismatics for those new.
Commence synchronizing an explosive!
Shoot the enemy!
But no. I have been called many things, and repetitious is one of them. I have also been called redundant several times, and once I was called reiterative, if you can believe that. So, prime numbers. What are they? The simplest definition is this. Given the set of natural numbers greater than 1, let's call that set n2, then a prime is any number in the set that is not itself a product of two other numbers in the set n2. A simple definition. Elegant, even uplifting, almost ascendant, you could say, but not redundant. Side note, I am frequently asked why isn't 1 a prime number since nothing can divide it other than itself? And the answer is simple, you silly lay person. Because with such an inclusion to the definition of a prime number, then nothing else would be a prime number. And then what good are prime numbers? Wait, you ask, what good are prime numbers? Why would we want to find and use prime numbers? There are all kinds of say, practical applications, such as maintaining the security of bit cartridges. In fact, our archive uses primes for that reason and many more. The archive incorporates prime numbers for storage and retrieval on its ultra-efficient system of data bricks, as well as using prime numbers in the process of checking its for corruption. By such. But if you strive to become a numenistics researcher, there are several open questions in the area of prime number study. One such question is this: is every even member of the set n2 besides 2 a sum of 2 primes? It seems to be so, but no one has ever proven this conjecture. Similarly, are there an infinite number of prime pairs that differ by only 2 in their value? That seems unlikely, but we have been unable to find an upper limit. Perhaps you could discover one of these proofs and become the next senior tenured laureate of the Tertiary Adjunct School of Numenistics for the Order of the Ascendant. Such a lofty, and dare I say, elegant goal. Good disquisitions to you all, and good day.
Traveling at the velocity of light through the vacuum of space on our primary band, this is Grand Plan Wireless, the informed, sourced, peer-reviewed sound of scientism. Truncated courtesies. I bear a dispatch of great noteworthiness. Our former Protectorate colleagues have undergone a radical leadership shift. I submit this recorded announcement, intercepted from a Protectorate wireless broadcast, as empirical evidence.
Subjects, listen well. Days ago, our beloved sovereign, in his infinite wisdom, submitted himself to mental refreshment to strengthen his resolve for the good of all. At his command, I, Emery Thoreau, now accept the responsibility of shepherding you through these dark times until our sovereign's blessed return. I shall not take this duty lightly.
There you have it, an objectively momentous turn of Protectorate events, announced by the very individual we suspect orchestrated it. Just a theory, but the data supports it. Rigorous analysis of the consul's voice inflection reveals telltale signs of deception. We estimate with 48% certainty that the Protectorate has undergone a coup. Certainly not unexpected, given our knowledge of the Protectorate's societal structure and our own fraught relationship with Consul Emery Thoreau. Work groups of tenured seers in the Department of Predictive Analysis are calculating likely outcomes of these events. Expect addenda to this report as they develop.
End message with an emphatic sign-off such as, "You'll never be sad when you have solutions." Oh, that apparently was a note to self, not to be read aloud.
And now, additional data and/or music determined to facilitate cognition. And now, a song from a composer predicted to have 3 well-liked melodies and become allergic to water this year.
If I measured every heart if I input every intent
Huh? You're still alive! Now, let's not be too hasty here. You seem a rational person. There must be something we can do to resolve this peacefully. Please don't let Azza get her hands on me.
Why are you talking to them, Dagmar? I'm the one you must answer to. You make a good point. Time to go to work. She's dead. As am I. Our enthusiasm got the better of us. She should have suffered more. It was too quick a death for one who betrayed not only me, but the whole of the Dawn. Now that Dagmar is dead, I'll be leading the Dawn into the glorious future.
From the Order of the Ascendant.
I can send out a general message from here, informing the cells that the previous Exalted Leader has betrayed us and has been dealt with, and that I am now in charge. I suspect some will simply jump into the closest rift. And to be perfectly candid, I'm hoping there are more than a few that refuse to acknowledge their new leader. Enough to keep my knife skills up, at least. It's done. Let's leave this place. It's sick.
Cognitive resonance across Arcadia, this is Grand Plan Wireless. Exactly at the predicted hour, it's another installment of Ask Vicar with Vicar Megsai. A listener asks, who was the charismatic mathematician, and why do we call him thus?
Truly an inquiry for the ages. You know what he was? A progenitor of the order, the man responsible for elevating it from academic advisory board to a humanity-saving belief system. The answer to who he was is more elusive. No one knows his true name, which is lost in the annals of history. The sobriquet of charismatic mathematician comes from his early days as a professor emeritus of cognitive. His lectures were known to leave students.
Alert! An upgrade module compatible with your Valerie unit is nearby.
Subject of his teachings are outside the scope of today's question. If anyone wishes to know what the charismatic mathematician actually taught, simply ask, and I will answer in a later installment of Ask a Vicar. If you're feeling anxious about what's next, just wait. Things to come have a way of constantly happening. The future is colliding with the present every moment.
Warning, the following song mentions some actions that are improper, something your fractions should never be.
If something hasn't happened, if something's not the case, if you find your data missing inside your database, if you need to find alternatives, and if X isn't
Enemy in evisceration.
Products increase energy, efficiency, creativity, and Axiom denatured protein slab contains exactly the amount of protein your body can produce. Your Axiom the mine's operator, make a difference today. The following song has been determined to facilitate abstract thinking and constructive rumination.
Teammate had emergency. Violence is the answer.
Don't wait for later. You've dotted your eyes. The only thing that that's left
I see an enemy. Be close.
get to the point and do not vacillate.
Arcadia's voice of reason.
Greetings, pupils. Your always relatable Vicar Monk Sci-Fi is here to subvert expectations with an installment of ask a vicar. Ask a vicar to ask a presiding bishop. That's right. Presiding Bishop Ruth Bassar is in the studio to answer a listener query, which I will pose. Why are we here? Presiding Bishop, take it away.
Quite the broad question. Do we have sufficient time? It all began 13.7 billion years ago.
Beg your pardon, Presiding Bishop, but I believe this question is a little more specific. Why are we here in Arcadia?
Ah, yes. Our presence in Arcadia is due to the friendship between the matriarch and our founding presiding bishop. Of course, he was not bishop at the time. This was more than a century ago. He had grown disillusioned with the order of scientific inquiry, which he felt had lost sight of the original vision, perfection through prediction. The matriarch appealed to his desire to return to that original. Vision, asking him to join her in her great enterprise. Together, they would establish a perfect society devoted to humanity's ascension. In exchange, she would finance a computronic machine that would account for every possibility, the Archive. Such a device could never be built on Earth with its paltry resources. So began our sect, the Order of the Ascendant, steadfast in our crusade to solve the universal equation in Arcadia. And that, to answer your listener's query, is why we are here.
Stay tuned for what follows. And now, more music to perform advanced calculations by.
The spread, illnesses, and eventual control of the purple-berry parasite. OA Archive transcription number 3918-4 begins here. Hello. For the record, my name is Marie de Rothschild, Junior Archivist, Class 4 of the Archive. Today, I would like to talk about irresponsible spread of the purple-berry parasite by Auntie's Choice and its numerous subsidiaries and former supernumerary, although that's a different lecture. The spread of this parasite included a corresponding rise in gastrointestinal illnesses and deaths, until basic preventative measures were put in place, after illness-related costs exceeded corporate profits. As is usual for Auntie's Choice. The purple-berry parasite infects nearly 100% of all purple-berry bushes, both in the wild, on corporate farms, and even in our hydroponic collectives. Originally discovered on a single colony world, the purple-berry plant was subsequently spread throughout the colonies due to Auntie's Choice's poorly regulated interstellar shipping. Well, actually, it was due to Spacer's Choice, which somehow merged with another company to become Auntie's Choice. Honestly, these corporate interactions make little sense to me, as they mostly amount to relabeling assets and changing letterhead and mascot cartoons. So I will just refer to them as Auntie's Choice going forward, even though that may offend some of my more literal-minded colleagues. But I digress. The purple-berry plant was at first thought to be poisonous, as the early colonists eating its berries died from the most potent of discharges this documentarian has ever witnessed, in a rare Auntie's Choice lab recording in our archive, which we acquired from a corporate defector to the Protectorate before our stellar system was sealed and the Order ceased daily interactions with our Protectorate allies. But again, I digress. Belated testing by Auntie's Choice's unlettered scientists showed that the berries were not poisonous at all. Instead, they were infected with a microscopic parasite, the purple-berry parasite, or PBP, as it is colloquially called in Auntie's Choice's records. More specifically, the PvP eggs are found in every berry of an infected plant, where the eggs have been subdermally injected by the second stage of the parasite. But I am getting ahead of myself. Let's examine the PvP life cycle in detail. After an infected berry is eaten by a host, the microscopic eggs inside the berries are exposed to the host's digestive enzymes, which trigger their hatching. These parasites enter their second stage, as spiky, worm-like creatures.
Please observe that the archive entry is heavily defended. Consider an alternate means of access to avoid direct protectorate engagement.
You know this is a suicide mission, right? Not complaining, just making sure you're aware. They've got turrets, heavy infantry, and automechs. We don't even have a plan. But what else is new? Really? Really? You're serious?
Also, as the expelled contents contain undigested purple berries.
This unit wishes you good fortune with your upcoming death and/or dismemberment.
Helping infected purpleberry plants to spread farther and grow better than uninfected ones. Perhaps unsurprisingly, careless Auntie's Choice scientists mislabeled this case of obvious symbiosis, given how both the purpleberry plant and its parasite are benefited by the relationship, as a parasitical relationship. Given that initial classification error, it's a wonder the Auntie's Choice... After some additional casualties, plodding Auntie's Choice field researchers discovered that co-native planetary fauna was well adapted to the parasite and hardly affected by it to any large amount. But human colonists were not so fortunate. The PvP worms disrupted the human internal biome to such a degree that the eventual correspondingly large immune response leads to violently explosive diarrhea, resulting in the expelling of the worms, the berries, and most of the person's gastrointestinal tract. Human casualty rates were close to 100%, even when reluctantly given medical attention by Auntie's Choice doctors, who were more concerned with upselling unnecessary procedures or prescribing expensive ointments such as their antibiotics, a topical cream that offers no benefit to the dying patient, except possibly smoothing away stubborn wrinkles, according to product literature. However, given the purpleberry's non-zero nutritional value and low growing costs, impatient Auntie's Choice administration officials directed their labs to find ways to remove the parasite. A variety of methods were tested and found effective. But emergency and
Recommended course of action.
Eventually, the answer to specifically a history textbook
Providing a host of
salmon worms, with an estimated 70 to 90% of all salmon being infected by these parasites. More importantly, the the simple and obvious, yet untried, of freezing the salmon meat killed the embedded parasites. A quick test showed the same procedure works on PvP eggs, although without quite 100% effectiveness. The remaining parasite eggs were not removed, a method that was judged too wasteful and expensive, since they increased the protein content of the berries without affecting their texture or flavor in any discernible way. The microscopic egg remains were simply too small to be seen or felt by the unaided eyes and tongues of their consumers.
Exit the blast! All friendly in combat range.
Purpleberries are now as common purpleberry-themed foods and beverages, all of them with parasite-free. More accurately, the label should read live parasite-free. But in any case, Auntie's Choice once again demonstrated an attempt For their customers, for nature, and for any pretense of safety. Another reason this documentarian is grateful for our order's fabricated nutritional food. OA Archive transcription number 3918-4 ends here.
Prudence dictates we route all disruptive influences.
You have tuned your receiver to Grand Plan Wireless. We verify before we amplify.
Is a fellow subject lacking the
Make Pinnacle meal replacement bars the complete part of your daily meals and of the plan. Designed for optimal nutritional extraction, they also taste acceptable. From the Order of the Ascendant. Roguish comical remark discovered upon a chalkboard. And his choice and the Protectorate both count very low.
All subjects whisper under the guidance of our beneficent idler.
Hostile planet Day 35. Brought to you by the frigid cold and voracious wildlife. Starring...
I've noted some right sophisticated interactions among the Crabbles lately. Intricate courtship rituals, coordinated group efforts, all about thermal transfer. When my unit was first stationed down here, I kept making excuses to sneak off and observe them. Product research, I said. Very hush-hush. Eventually gave my lieutenant a field promotion and ordered them all away. Been living off the land here like the Crabbles ever since. Their unfertilized roe actually makes for some good eating. Included some with this message. Eat up.
informational details for near present and future calculations. No need to interrupt important academical activity. Please lend me your divided attention to acknowledge our archive facility on Cloister. None among you forget, we lost computational control of the archive to those unsophisticated anti's choice laypeople, who in turn lost it to our foes in the Protectorate. Both parties surely befouled the logic assemblies of our planetoidal analytic engine with their processing requests. Which is why we must reacquire the archive at the earliest feasible opportunity, even if we must contract with outside assistance. Once we reassume control and cleanse the archive of its conflicting calculations, we can once again set it to the worthy task of solving the universal equation.
That is all for now. Until next time, keep hail and mind your calculations. Unlike parallel lines, I hope something will.
Continuing as predetermined. This popular number has been conclusively proven to promote cognitive function.
Enemy here. The physical sense of violence is creeping.
Agent's health needs.
Square root